Hey, this is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome into a live episode of Coaching Company here on a Sunday. It is, let me check my notes, week 13 in the National Football League. Now, on Sundays, we do things just a little bit differently. We do have the live show. We have best bets from anybody on the crew that will send them in. And we only talk NFL, but we'll add one little topic ahead of the games today. But today is pivotal. Absolutely pivotal. Less games because of the 3 games on Thanksgiving, but also the Black Friday game, the Bears beating the Eagles. But we have plenty to talk about today. So hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Hopefully your shopping is almost done as we head into the final day of the month of November. So without further ado, on this Sunday, let's beat the books. All right, today it's just the 2-piece. I did not eat at Popeyes yesterday, however. 7 games at 1 game at 4:05, 2 games at 4:25. My guy, Mikey P, is here with me this morning. Mikey, we got to tell the good people that come in watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I encourage you to do that right here and right now. Now, Mikey, before we get to the NFL today, first of all, good morning. How was your Saturday?
Good morning. Thank you for the kind of stray you just threw at me about Popeyes when you knew what I screwed up with on Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, I swear to God, it wasn't even on purpose. I'm
No, it's not.
just that good. I'm just that good, I
No,
guess.
you're
I
just
didn't
that good.
even remember. I didn't even remember.
It was a good Saturday.
Okay. Last night, so I was up late. Obviously, I was doing Sirius XM radio after Survivor Series, which took place 60 miles from where I'm sitting right now. I think the one word to describe it was disappointing. I didn't see X or anybody post on X. What did you think of the show last night, by the way, Mikey?
Wow. It was terrible. There was no payoff. I mean, very quickly break it down. We got nothing to build off of in the women's War Games match. We had 8 versus 1 and John Cena versus Dom Mysterio. At least that's what it felt like. I have no idea where Nikki Bella goes from here. And thanks for having some masked man just run into the cage, and literally everybody fought for 5 minutes, and that was it.
Apparently, when you have a masked man walk in and do a curb stomp to make it look like Seth Rollins did it, even though he's got a torn ACL and he's out for 9 months, normally you don't want to have your mega heels need somebody else to help you win. But what do I know? What do I know? But that wasn't even the big story from yesterday, because starting 3 minutes ago, Lane Kiffin is meeting with the team to go over his plans, which will be announced in the next hour or so, according to Marty Smith. And last night was I worked with Marty. Love Marty. He's carved out a niche for himself in the Southeast. People love him. Coaches trust him. But I swear to God, Mikey, if I had to watch one more live shot yesterday of him showing his text to Lane Kiffin, going, please, for the love of God, is there going to be an answer on Sunday? I was going to literally go insane. But Lane Kiffin expected to sign with LSU. Those are the reports. $12 million plus bonuses. And the big sticking point was the amount of money that he would get in NIL to bring players to each university. And if Ole Miss, Mikey, decided not to match LSU and whatever the amount of money was, I can't believe I'm saying this. This might be on them that they lost Lane Kiffin, because I've been on the other side of the fence the whole time. Your take?
I agree 100%. I will say this, as an LSU fan, I need all the details to come out before I get hyped. Like, I want to be excited as a fan of a university that Lane Kiffin is arriving. But how this is all playing out. The other thing that really stuck out in my mind, why is it Mississippi, coach? Why is it Brett Favre from Mississippi, Lane Kiffin coaching at Mississippi? When we want to know those two and their whereabouts, we got helicopters, we got Marty Smith text messages. Like, I was like, this feels like Brett Favre going to the Vikings all over again. He's not the president of the United States.
Although that was a lot of fun. I remember that. I was at ESPN when Brett Favre was making him to the Vikings and Brett Favre to the Jets. Those were like everybody, every reporter, news, sports, helicopter, get Chopper 9 up. Let's go. This is going to be interesting, though, because I think for the first time in coaching, in college athletics, and we all know what the landscape is. So I get everything that's going on. But it doesn't take away from the fact that I love college football and I love loyalty. And I love when we're talking about numbers, Mikey, that they're basically the same on both sides of the fence. That you have made a career out of jumping ship every time things get good or things get really, really bad. Mikey, they're getting ready to walk into the college football playoff. They're having the best season in the history of the school. You have an opportunity that in the next 20 years to make a name for yourself at Ole Miss. So when you're done, when you retire, they can go, man, Ole Miss is a university people and players want to go to. If he makes this move today, he blows that out of the water and he becomes public enemy number one, except for in Louisiana. Do you think he's thought that all the way through?
I don't believe so. And again, as an LSU fan, that's what I don't want. Why are we hiring public enemy number one? It's going to be a hated program. It's going to be a hated university. On the player side, how many players are going to go with Lane Kiffin? Because then what are people going to say about those players? Who's going to decommit? All these things that are about to unravel over his decision. I really, really wish he has a chance. And I've kind of thought about going back and forth about saying this. He has a chance to become the most relevant thing out of Ole Miss since Michael Orr. And they made a movie about that guy. Lane Kiffin, they can make a movie about you and your success in Oxford. So I just really, really wish that Lane Kiffin would stay and we could put this all to bed.
Yeah, I think Eli Manning had a pretty good name for himself there at
Ah,
Ole
he's
Miss
okay.
as well. I mean, he was all right. He was all right.
He got enough commercials.
Do you think? So we will keep you updated on this story as it progresses throughout the day and throughout the afternoon. But let's shift our focus now, Mikey, to the NFL. And one game that we're actually not even going to break down, but it may be one of the biggest storylines of the day. And this kind of ties in college because the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns was one of the most hated players because of the jealousy of the NIL money, of all of the celebrities he was hanging out with. And now the Cleveland Browns said today, I want to make sure I get this headline right. We are open to extending the look at Shadir Sanders. I'm trying to remember who the guy was right here on this very show last year at the draft saying, listen, somebody's going to eat their words. Somebody's going to play this dude because I know what I'm watching. He won last week, and today, a huge opportunity. If he can beat the 49ers, this team will be his moving forward.
Absolutely. I was all in on Shador last week. He was a part of my best bets. I was pounding the table for him. Coach, I know we're going to get to our best bets, but I got to pull back here on all things Cleveland and San Francisco. That weather is going to be absolutely terrible. I want nothing. As someone who watched the Black Friday game in Philadelphia and saw how the wind was taking those passes, I want nothing to do with Shador today. All you have to do is not turn the ball over. Easier said than done taking on a Robert Saleh defense. Thankfully, he's got Myles Garrett on the other side of the Cleveland Browns defense.
Yeah, it's funny. I hope that they don't. I'm glad you pointed that out because I hope that they, if he plays poorly or the numbers are bad, I hope the Browns brass, who has proven over time not to be the smartest, doesn't hold it against him if they go, well, see what happens when, if they lose 13-0 or 17, whatever it is. Though today can't be the measuring stick, but in leadership it can be. Yep. In how he runs the team, it can be. And so I think it's going to be super, super exciting to watch the 49ers and the Browns today. That's one of the 1 p.m. Eastern games today. All right, let's get to our best bets. We have them for me and you. We have them from Raphael and Soupy if you're watching. My bad. We do have picks from Soupy as well. Mikey, I'll let you go first. What do you got today?
Give me Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence over 1.5 passing touchdowns at it, plus money, plus 100. They're taking on the Tennessee Titans. I can't believe this is at plus money. The Tennessee Titans. I know Sam Darnold struggled against them, but I like Lawrence to go over this number. Give me the Dolphins team total over 24.5 points at plus 105. they're playing the Saints this week. Coach, a lot of my picks are relating to the weather. I want to take good weather quarterbacks today, and that's how that's how I'm looking at this week. We are now in the depths of the season where weather matters. And then in the 4 o'clock slate, I have the Bills -3 and Sam Darnold over 239.5 passing yards in his revenge game.
All right. I don't mind those. I hope the Bills one doesn't come in because I would love to see. What did you say yesterday? Chaos. Coach, we love chaos. Speaking of chaos, I'll do my two, and I'll do my second one first. I know that you're steering away, Mikey, from the Shadir Sanders and those. However, when you have weather like this and you're going to give me 5.5, damn it, I'm going to take it. And the last time the 49ers traveled to Cleveland, it was a couple of years ago. They were rolling. They were flying. And then they went into Cleveland and they absolutely laid an egg. This is about getting in. This is about getting out. And as I say on Off the Ropes on Sirius XM channel 156 daily, 2 to 4 Eastern time, make it good. And I think today the Browns will keep it within 5.5. And then the Jags and the Titans over 41.5. You're like, listen, you're always talking about dance partners. The Titans, not necessarily a great dance partner. That's okay, because let me check my notes, Mikey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 straight games the Jags have gone over this number. And we have you have Trevor Lawrence. I need him to have 2 or 3 passing touchdowns today. And that would mean you and I have a little bit of, say it with me, everybody, synergy.
I'm not doing the yeet anymore after what I saw in War Games.
I don't know if Jey Uso's doing the yeet after what we saw at War Games. All right, so those are my 2 best bets. Raphael, thank you. Tampa Bay -3.5, -110. Let me look real quick at the time of said game. Tampa, where the hell is Tampa? Oh, there we go. 1 o'clock, home against Arizona. Steelers team total over 20.5, -105. We'll talk about that game against the Buffalo Bills in Pittsburgh. And then Soupy. This was actually going to be one of mine, Mikey. Texans +3.5. They are absolutely playing lights out defensively. The Colts have lost 2 out of 3. I love this pick. The Rams on the road at a, what do we call the Panthers environment? Sterile, I guess. Not a lot of excitement going on in Charlotte these days. So you're going to lay 10.5. That's a big number on the road to a team that's only a half game back of the Bucs. And then the Bills Steelers, he likes the over in that game too. That's a 425 game today in Pittsburgh. Do we know, Mikey, if is there snow in Pittsburgh, or is that
it's going to be windy. The 2 games that I've looked, I didn't know this was a thing, Coach, until this morning when I was doing pre-show research. NFLweather.com. I did not know that website existed, but it just gives you every game broken down by time and the expected weather at that time. So the only 2 games that will have really bad weather, there'll be some rain in Carolina. So 3 games, rain in New York, and then terrible conditions in Cleveland.
Okay. And in New York, it's just the Jets and the Falcons. So
Yep.
Does a tree really fall in the forest is, I guess, the question that we're asking in that game as well. All right, so those are our best bets for today. Do not forget to hit the like button. We're going to jump in to a few games a little bit deeper. And, Mikey, there's a big one coming out of the AFC South today. And it is the first place Indianapolis Colts. They have lost 2 out of 3, taking on the Houston Texans. And I got to say, I wonder how much of a discussion, and maybe this is a dumb question, but Davis Mills was 3-0. Davis Mills had 5 touchdowns to 1 interception. Davis Mills is the quarterback that got Houston back into contention. And now CJ Stroud is scheduled to be back starting today. Do you think that was much of a discussion at all?
No, I think it's a good problem to have. Similar to what we see in Mac Jones and the San Francisco 49ers. You want a backup to come in and do exactly that. Back up your starting quarterback. The flip side of that conversation, however, is now if CJ Stroud starts stinking it up and maybe he's not the quarterback that you've wanted him to be all season, CJ, we love you. This guy's going to give us the best chance to compete right here, right now. If you turn a corner, great. But right now, you're struggling. and you could go to Davis Mills in the middle of a game, and I believe they'd be okay.
It's a great, great, great point. And I think also that the head coach for Houston, he's a defensive-minded coach. He's not a controversial coach. He's not one of those guys that will stand on it and in the middle of the game said, "This is what we're doing." I think he goes with the flow, is my point. And I think he wants everybody to like him. Good-looking dude, loves to laugh, loves to smile, big defensive stance. I don't think he wants that controversy, which in his mind, Mikey, to your point, it wouldn't be that much of a controversy. Texans fans want to win. And whatever that looks like at this point of the season, even CJ Stroud should understand if that means Davis Mills needs to be under center. And Mikey, I watched those games. He's a really good quarterback, and somebody's going to pay him 20, 30, 40 million dollars whenever they can pull him away, just like Seahawks did with Sam Darnold. So I just don't think they have the leadership to make that change, even
Yeah,
if he struggles.
yeah, because you have that fallback as well, which is how good is their defense? It's the best in the NFL. So you can
Mm-hmm.
get away with subpar quarterback play because you believe in your defense that much. That might be what hurts D'Amico Ryans and the Houston Texans. He could, as you said, stick to his guns, stick to his plans, not look for any controversy, and just say, CJ, even if you're struggling, the defense has got you. I don't have to tell you, coach, you've heard it for years. Coaches say it all the time. Hey, offense, we're going to lean on the defense this game. Don't worry about it. Well, no, you have to worry about it because you have an opportunity to really turn your season around. And I'll say it again. I think Davis Mills could come in relief if need be in the middle of the game and lead the Texans to a win.
So the nice thing that the Texans have is that they have the Colts twice before the end of the year. 2 of their final 6 games are against the Colts. And as the schedule makers would have it, the last game of the year, Sunday, January 4th, the Colts are in Houston. You think that game's going to matter? You think that game's? I think that game's going to matter. Right now, they're 2 games up at 8-3. Houston is 6-5. But with 2 games and head-to-head being the first tiebreaker, depending on what Jacksonville does, the Texans are in the passenger. Let's call it the passenger seat. Not really the driver's seat, but they're in the car. They're in the car. Let's say that. They're in the car. Titans, man, if they could beat the Jags today. Woo, at 7-4.
Titans are in the trunk.
With it locked. Nobody can open it up. All right. Game number 2. And this is a fascinating one. Because last week I watched the Panthers play. And I was like, this is a team that just threw for almost 500 yards. Bryce Young is turning the corner. Bryce Young and the Panthers a chance to win the NFC South. And then, Mikey, I watched the game. And it was like watching a high school team against the 49ers. And to me, it was as much about the 49ers not being that good right now as the Panthers being bad. 20-9 as 9-point underdogs. And now they have the LA Rams, the best team in all of the NFC, the number 1 seed currently coming to town and laying 10.5. And Matthew Stafford probably playing at an all-time high level. But we cannot make this a one-sided conversation because the Panthers only a half game back of first place in their division, which is remarkable if you actually watch them play. Your take?
Well, here we go. Here's the most optimism you're going to hear on the Carolina Panthers today for this matchup. You know what? If you're a Carolina Panthers fan, I got good news for you. Over the last 5 weeks, it's been lost, win, lost, win. What happened last week? A loss. So what are you lined up to do this week, Carolina? Win this game. Not only because I need it as a Bears fan so we can leapfrog into the number 1 seed, but if you want to actually talk on field, how can the Carolina Panthers get this done? The Rams have a great defense. Bryce Young is not it consistently, but that run game is. They can run the ball down the throat. If I see anything from this past week, the holiday games, the way the Bears beat the Eagles, running the ball down their throat, doubling the time of possession. Carolina has a very underrated defense, but I wouldn't test it against Matthew Stafford. Keep your offense on the field, run Rico Suave, and keep the clock ticking. That's all they can do.
I love how you say Rico Suave because nobody on the team can actually say his last name. Every time somebody tries, it's just embarrassing. So let's call him Rico Suave from now on. I will endorse that. How could you say? How can nobody say Daddle? It's Soupy, if you're watching. Sorry, I'm not allowed to make jokes
Come
twice.
on.
I know jokes twice, they're not funny. That one's funny. That one's funny. It really, really is. For the Rams, as we look and I don't know, Mikey, if 2 months ago, a month ago, we could have seriously sat here and said the Rams are the best team in the NFC with a bullet, because everybody wants to keep the Eagles and the defending champs in the conversation. Well, I think after what we saw on Friday, that we can say pretty confidently that the Rams are the best team playing right now in the NFC at 9-2, and Chicago's 9-3. So we still have some buys to work out there. And Philadelphia is 8-4. So really, this comes down right now to the Rams and to the Bears. And perception-wise, people are just not ready to make the Bears a top flight team in the NFC yet. They have to continue to prove themselves, and that's okay. What do the Rams need to do to make people believe they are the best team in the NFC?
Continue status quo. That's it. We're talking about a quarterback who most people was like, at 37 years old, Matthew Stafford couldn't get on the practice field in the summer. What was everybody doing? Writing him off, saying, he can't. There's no way his back is going to hold up for the 2025 season. Well, not only has it held up, he's put the entire franchise on his back. 27 touchdown passes since his last interception. He's playing at an MVP level. He's got the Rams in cruise control. This comes down to not just this game, but the entire Rams season. If Matthew Stafford is under center, I like the Rams 9 times out of 10.
All right, their road to the number 1 seed looks like this. At Carolina, at Arizona, home to Detroit, at Seattle, at Atlanta, home to Arizona. You've got 1.5 tough games. Maybe one, the way Detroit's playing right now. And that's if you count the season. So really, they have no tough games left. We went from 1.5 to 0 in 10 seconds.
I want to root for one of these teams. I want to root for one of them to knock off the Rams. I'm believing in the Panthers today. It's over. It's over. I think the Rams got the number 1 seed.
There's only one game that's not going to be at least 7 points on their schedules, spread-wise. All right. Now, game number 3. When you tell me it's a revenge game, Mikey, I want it to be actually in the stadium where said person was sent packing. I don't need to have, the Vikings at 4-7 are coming to Seattle. Hardcore revenge game for Sam. No. This would be in Minneapolis. So we're taking that narrative off the table. But huge game for Seattle. Because right now, at 8-3, it's only their bad luck. They're playing in the same division as the Rams, but they can very much improve their stakes if the Rams slip up. But this is one of the things about football I wish that they would change. Let's say they win out, lose one more, and they're 13-4. Okay, they lose to the Rams. Is it their fault, or should they have a home playoff game if they have a record better than the Bucs, the Panthers, or whoever wins the other divisions? To me, let's do what college football just did. The best teams get the buys, the best teams get the home games, and that's the way it should be also in the NFL. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. And I'll look at just Seattle, for example. You don't want a home playoff game there? You don't want a home playoff game with the 12th man? You'd rather go to, like, if the Panthers win the division, you'd rather go to Carolina? Do they even know that the Panthers will have a playoff game? No, I'm absolutely in agreement with you. Top 4 teams in every conference should get a home game, and that's it.
So Seattle laid another big number, 11.5, just like the Rams are doing today. For people who don't know, let me go in here. There is, and to be honest with you, sometimes I feel like when you do a betting show and we could throw 30 best bets out there. But at no point this year, and I'll take this one on the chin, at no point this year have we made Jackson Smith Enigma a best bet. Maybe once. But yet this dude, every single week, goes out there and shows why he is better than A.J. Brown. He's better than Jamar Chase. He's better than all of these cats. Last week against the Titans, 8 for 167 and 2 touchdowns. He is unguardable. but they're also calling plays for him. And I'll give credit to their OC. I'll give credit to Sam Darnold. He's coming off a career year in Minnesota, but having a better year now in Seattle because of this dude. Why are we not playing his numbers, even if they are inflated now?
Fear. I mean, honestly, that is the only reason why, because I thought the same thing last week. And then I saw his number, and I believe it was I know today it's at 97.5. I think last week it was like 92.5. He was minus money for anytime touchdown. I said, no, come on. I said,
That's
come on.
crazy.
He's not going to do it again. And then I go, 168 and 2 touchdowns? I know they're playing the Titans, but he has become that wide receiver where I love that you put him over Jamar Chase. And I think it's okay to have that conversation season by season. Now, body of work, I'm probably still sticking with Jamar Chase. But for this season, Seattle is going, he's on the field, cover him. Because we're still going to throw him the ball. We're still going to get him the ball, and he's still going to score on your head. JSN, right now, the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL, and that's okay. I just can't. The number's too high. The number is too high.
So 80 catches, tied for third. Over 1,300 yards. 1,300 at this point of the season. He could, arguably, he get to 2,000 as a receiver. What? We only talk about that with running backs because you can't control receivers. They can get double covered. This is crazy. 7 touchdowns. That's tied for 4th on a dude who gets double covered on every single play. This is absolutely insane. The last 5, let's just say 5 games. 5 games. 167, 105, 93, 129, 123 for a wide receiver. It is time that we stand up, give a tip of the cap. What do we call him? JSN? Is that what the kids call him? JSN?
Yep.
All right, it's easier than saying his full name. So I'm going to start calling him JSN from now on because I love watching this dude play. And you know what the other thing he does, Mikey? He's like Barry Sanders. When he catches, he flips it to the official, runs back and says, I'm going to do it again. And those are players I love, aren't they? Aren't they?
Two things I want to hit on about this game. One on JSN. He's got one of the funniest interviews I've seen as a Bears fan. Shane Waldron, former offensive coordinator in Seattle. He leaves, comes to Chicago, gets fired in his first year. But before that transition year, a Chicago Bears media company was interviewing JSN at some Super Bowl media row. And they said, hey, what do you think of Shane Waldron? And JSN goes, is this live? And he's like, oh, you guys, good luck. He's a nice guy. But on this game today, important to note, no JJ McCarthy. So I'll accept we can't have a revenge game for Sam Darnold in Seattle. But damn, he could look over and go, Max Brosmer? You guys went with Max Brosmer? Oh, okay, all right.
I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be completely transparent. I have no clue who that is.
He's the starting quarterback for.
No, I know that, but I've never heard of him. And I'd like to think I'm pretty knowledgeable when it comes to quarterbacks in the NFL. For the love of God, where did this dude come from? I need to do a deep dive. Holy smokes. I just saw him okay, I'm betting on Seattle. I said, I don't even need to go even look right now. Holy cow. And Seattle, they can score. This is a team. This is a full team. This is a full team. They're dangerous. You don't want to play them in the playoffs. There's no question about that. All right, Mikey. This game right here. This is our featured game of the day. And I will not sit here with you on a Sunday morning and have anybody disparage the guts, the moxie, what Aaron Rodgers is willing to put his body through today for the team. I won't do it. Several broken bones in his left wrist. But this isn't his throwing wrist. He's not going to need it. I thought about asking Raphael the over-under in when he comes out of the game because the first time he goes down and catches himself, that left wrist with 3 broken bones, they'll be number 4, they'll be number 5. So let's start right there. The Steelers getting 3.5, and on paper, it's Josh Allen against Aaron Rodgers.
On paper, it's just Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say anything negative about Aaron Rodgers, except for the fact that he was obviously scared to play against Chicago last week, and I get it. But this kind of falls back to the conversation with Davis Mills and CJ Stroud. I understand the Steelers lost last week, but does Mason Rudolph give your offense a better chance to win the game than having to throw him in an emergency situation if Rodgers does said fall on his wrist? I just don't. I understand the urgency, but I think the Bills roll in this game.
So last week, Mason Rudolph, he did not set the world on fire, but it was manageable, 24-30 on one touchdown, one interception. What did they do well? They ran the football. Kenneth Gainwell, 92 yards on only 10 carries, so 9.2 yards per carry. So that was nice. They did not have one receiver, Mikey, not one, with over 40 yards receiving last week. That's a problem. That's a problem. So I think that's probably what they're looking at, and they're saying we need to be explosive. We need to score. And I know they scored 28, but it was kind of weird how they got there against the Bears. They know that the Bills are going to come out and they're going to probably score 28 at least. So they had to look at it and say, which quarterback gives us the best chance to score 28 points at least? And I would have to side with the coaching staff and Mike Tomlin and say that was Aaron Rodgers. Wouldn't you?
Yes, to an extent. I'm just worried about in game. I know Mason Rudolph has been a backup. That's not being disrespectful. It's just fact. He's been a backup for most of his career. He can be ready at the drop of a hat, but I just don't want to put my team in that position. If I'm Mike Tomlin, I would say, hey, Aaron, even if we lose this game, especially with the Ravens losing, I would say, hey, even if we lose, we're still in it. Take one more week.
Yeah, I know. I guess I'm just looking at it a little bit differently than you are, and that's why we do this show, for different perspectives. But if I'm a player in the locker room and I've got a Hall of Fame quarterback over here, I want you to give me my Hall of Fame quarterback. The reason we waited until July to get this guy and have him say yes. And if that means we get him and he plays for a quarter, at least you showed the guys in the locker room we're putting our best foot forward. And from Aaron Rodgers' perspective, this is probably the guttiest injury list he's ever been on. I mean, playing with multiple broken bones, it'll be fascinating. Now, let's flip over to the other side, because this one is very interesting, Mikey. Because Josh Allen went out in their last game and nearly came all the way back. But let's be honest, they got dominated by the Houston Texans and that defense. And now the Bills find themselves in a very, very unique position that they haven't been in, just like the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. The Patriots are the best team in the AFC East. The Patriots have a home game left against the Bills. The Patriots are the squad. And now Josh Allen has to figure out, how do we maintain and at least finish as high as we can, even if the number one seed may be out of our grasp?
I'm trying not to do what I've done every time we've talked about the Bills and scream James Cook into this microphone. Josh Allen, this is now on you. James Cook had 20 touches in the last game against the Houston Texans. But we've said it over the last few weeks. Some of these plays, some of these throws, rather, by Josh Allen have been very, very awful throws. Almost to the point of saying, I don't know if we make the playoffs type of throw. And so Josh Allen, in their best offensive game of the season, what did he do? He accounted for not one, not two, not three, 6 touchdowns. That's what Buffalo needs now in order to get to where they want to be. It has to come down to Josh Allen does it all. So we're going to have to see him do that against a Steelers defense that features TJ Watt.
You might be right. And when you look at the past performances, Houston, 17-116, but it was just a weird game. It really was the way that game played out. But the two games before that, to your point, 48 on 16 carries, 53 on 13 carries. That's not going to get it done. But the two games before that was 114, 216. Bottom line is he has over 1,000 yards rushing this season already in, what are they, 8-4 in 12 games. He has a chance to get over 1,500 if he has a really good finish to the season. But Mikey, when I look at how Lamar Jackson played on Thursday, and I look at Josh Allen and his body of work, are we staring at two modern day Dan Marinos that we know they're great, but do they have the game? Do they have the moxie? Do they have what it takes to win in January when you've got to make every single play count? And I'm starting to wonder and starting to lean to this side of the fence that maybe these two just aren't good enough to lead their team to a Super Bowl championship.
I'm gonna say right now I agree with you, Coach, because the thing for me is in today's NFL, no matter if it's a 10-9 win or a 100-9 win, it all comes back to one position on the football field, the quarterback. Just mentioned the Buffalo Bills' best offensive performance. It took Josh Allen to score 6 touchdowns on his own in order to get that victory. So we praise Josh Allen. But when it matters most, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have proved time after time they just can't get it done. So for me, this is the beauty of this era of sports. I know LeBron James has plenty of haters, but isn't it fun? Or Tom Brady, isn't it fun when you have somebody you have to go out and beat? Right now, that's Patrick Mahomes. I don't care about the Chiefs season. You know that come playoff time, oh, damn it, that guy's on the other sideline. I can't beat that guy. That's the beauty of it, because if you want to take that next step, you go beat them, you go prove yourself, and they haven't done that.
They have not. They have not. And what's weird or different is they're sitting at 7-4. And when you look at the entirety of the standings right now, and you've got a New England team that's 10-2, they have a 3-game lead in the win column. They still have their bye to come, and they're opening a new stadium next year. They're going to need to sell, and this is probably the one fan base that you could go 0-16 and not have to lower prices, not have to go, hey, we're going to sell all those skyboxes. This thing's going to be sold out. They're already sold out. But wouldn't it be nice if they walked into their new stadium with a ring ceremony, with a banner to put up the first day they play? Wouldn't that be nice? Bills fans think it would be nice. It'd be really, really, really nice. All right, a couple other things, and we'll get the hell out of here. And we want to wish everybody good luck today. And we will recap our best bets. But tonight, Sunday Night Football, Mikey, normally it's a really, really good matchup. It's a playoff team. Now, this was a good matchup preseason when the Commanders were coming off a playoff year, but Jaden Daniels has not been healthy. The Denver Broncos at Washington tonight. And then on Monday Night Football, you have the Giants and New England. And so you're going to get to see tomorrow night, and we'll have the Monday Night Grind, of course. You're going to get to see Drake May on display all by himself as the number 1 seed in the AFC. I think this is exciting despite the fact that they're playing the Giants, because you're going to have Jackson Dart, who's going to be back on the field. This is going to be, I think, a heck of a Monday night game.
What I love when they're on paper, the matchup is favored to just one side. I start looking at, I'm not even going to talk from a betting perspective, just from a football fan perspective. What makes me interested in watching this game? Well, you have two of the most historic franchises in the NFL with a great rivalry between them. And what are we about to see tomorrow night? The future of said franchises. Jackson Dart, he's fun to watch. Now, would they be a lot more fun to watch with Cam Skadaboo and Malik Neighbors? Absolutely. But you have Drake May in New England, Jackson Dart in New York. I believe we're looking at the future, at least for the next 5 years, for both of these quarterbacks leading these franchises.
You know how I like to tie things together. You know, I like to say 12-12 or 6-6 to bring everything full circle. Somehow, Lane Kiffin has brought himself into this matchup tomorrow night. Where did Jackson Dart play quarterback at?
Ole Miss.
Oh, Ole Miss. Where did Malik Neighbors go to school?
LSU.
Oh, LSU. Interesting. So you got the two biggest names for the Giants, sometimes healthy, sometimes not healthy, that went to the two schools that Lane Kiffin is now deciding. And oh, by the way, where did Drake May go to school?
North Carolina.
And who's coaching in North Carolina? Oh, Bill Belichick. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. It's all 12-12. It's all 6-6. That's what we're talking about. All right. Enough discussion. Let's get to our best bets, and we'll let you guys get out here and enjoy your Sunday. Let's lock it in. Producer man fell asleep. I guarantee you I know what just happened. He's working on something else. Oh, shit. They're still doing segments. Now he's just changing screens. All right. I'll go first since I'm top left. Jags Titans over 41.5 minus 110. The last 5 games, the Jags have gone over this number. I think the Titans can do enough. If they get to 17, I think the Jags will do the rest, getting over 24. And then the Browns, a lot of snow, a lot of bad weather. When that's the case, then give me the points. If you want to buy it up to 6 for minus 120 or so, I don't mind that. I just think that the 49ers, a non-cold weather team, going to a cold weather environment, it's not going to be pretty. I can see this being a 3-point game either way. Shadir Sanders, you played in Colorado. You know what it's like to play in snow? Show me today. Mikey, go.
Give me Trevor Lawrence over 1.5 passing touchdowns as the Jaguars take on the Titans. Jaguars, obviously a warm weather team. However, it's 44 degrees and sunny in Tennessee, so it's a little cold. Deal with it, Trevor Lawrence. The Miami Dolphins are playing the New Orleans Saints, so give me the Dolphins team total over 24.5. And then in the late afternoon slate, taking on his former team, the Minnesota Vikings, give me Sam Darnold over 239.5 passing yards, and I will take the Buffalo Bills -3 against the Steelers.
Is it 239 or 230?
230.
230. Okay.
230.
All right. We had a little issue the other day with 269 and 239. So I want to make sure, because if I even get one tweet, that's one too many for me. So I'm already dealing with wrestling fans who hated Survivor Series. They might have been named Mikey P on Twitter. All right, let's go. Raphael, he likes Tampa today at home against the Falcons. Tampa nursing a half-game lead in the division over the Panthers. And then the Steelers team total late game over 20.5. All you got to do against a Bills team that's allowed a lot of points. They gave up 23 to the Texans. So Raphael loves the Steelers team total today, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or whether it's Mason Rudolph. And then Soupy, he's on the Texans +3.5 against the Colts. The Rams -10.5 in Charlotte to play the Panthers. And then he likes the Bills Steelers over 45.5. So he's got a little synergy with Raphael. All right, final take time. Mikey, what do you expect to take out of Sunday and week 13?
Find out which teams are real and which teams are preparing for next year. I think there's a lot. Because of the holiday, there's a lot of teams that will either be ready to say, yeah, it's time for next year. I'm just happy we still get 2 very, very highlighted, featured, important games in the Colts and the Texans and the Bills and the Steelers. And Coach, why does this happen? You're a Chiefs fan. Why does this always happen? Why does the AFC always have the games that matter as the season gets later and later?
It's weird. It's weird because it's the same teams that are good every single year. NFC, it's like around ring around the rosy, as it were. I was just looking here real quick on whether or not there is a update on Lane Kiffin. Nothing yet, but the reports still are that he is expected to sign with LSU today, a salary of $12 million plus bonuses. That would take him into the upper echelon of paid coaches. Wasn't that long ago that and they can all thank Nick Saban for this. So now, I don't know if you remember this, Mikey, but Nick Saban had a clause in his contract that whenever somebody made, let's say, $8 million, he would make like $100,000 more. And so all these coaches kept getting bigger, bigger, bigger. So would his, without having to negotiate. It was like the most brilliant contract ever. Now, what's it been, 5-7 years? And you go from $7 million being the A-lister to $12 to $14 million. It kind of shows you how important NIL money is, how important it is to get the players to your university. But I think the playoff and the tens of millions of dollars that the university can make, that has put more importance on college head coaching than ever before. And they're starting to reap those rewards and also those buyouts. Any final take on whether or not Lane Kiffin surprises us and stays at Ole Miss today?
Well, I'm not here to say these tweets that I've seen are valid or not, but one thing I have seen on social media is Lane Kiffin is supposedly arguing over if he decides to go to LSU, can he stay and coach this team all the way through the playoffs? Now, I don't know how I feel about that. I would think at a certain point, if you're Ole Miss, hey, listen, we'll let you go, but at least see how far you can take us. I hope he stays because I don't want to have that conversation.
Man, it would be easy to go, no, get him the hell out of Dodge. But if you're Ole Miss, you got to look at it with emotion taken out of this thing. Yep. Because if you make it to the playoff finals, I think the number is $30 to $50 million, something like that. And if you're Ole Miss and you're looking to upgrade your program, and the next guy that comes in, wouldn't 50 mil or approximately that be pretty nice to put in your coffers? So as much as they'd like to say this is not, and I saw some reports that said they don't want it to be an audition for other players to go to LSU. I think at this point we know what Lane Kiffin is. We know what he's about. And we know that if me and you were down there, he'd be threatening us too. That's just who he is. Let's see how it works. Yeah, Lane, threaten this guy right here. It would not be going like, oh boy, we're still actively trying to get that guy on the show, by the way. I would love to talk to that reporter. But I see both sides. And I think in this day and age, I don't know how much it would hurt because Lane Kiffin wants to win. He wants to win at all costs. He would not coach to hurt his team because I do believe he loves his players. But I also think long-term he wants to be at a name, and LSU has a much better name than Ole Miss. This is a tough one, pal. This is a tough one. It really is.
It would be beneficial for both sides. If you're Lane Kiffin and you can take the Rebels far than expected, into the playoffs, and you exceed expectations, now you get to go to LSU and go, I mean, you guys got the big fish. Look what I just did at Ole Miss. And then if you're Ole Miss, you go, oh, dude, thanks. We got more than enough money to hire your replacement. What are you making, 12? Hey, replacement, 12.1. Take that, Lane Kiffin.
Well, to diffuse that, he has said it's not about the money, which is clear. Both sides, he's going to make 12 because Ole Miss said they'll match anything. The NIL money, they'll match the salary. So the money is off the table as far as a reason. But man, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like playing it through my head in real time. And I think everybody likes to get their feelings into it. You got to take your feelings out of it. And you got to say who gives, because does an interim coach, when you see a bowl game and the coach has already left and there's just that little bit, let's play for our interim head coach until we find. This is different than that. This is the playoffs. This is potentially 4 big games to play. I also don't want him to take his quarterback. The quarterback's story is awesome. Division II, big time Division I, take over for the name quarterback who was the guy who was supposed to be the All-American. And then you leave to go to LSU to play one more year in your 8th or 9th year as a college quarterback. I just don't like it. I don't. All right. We can talk about it all day. We won't. We're going to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. It's going to be a big week. Big week for us here at the show. Big week for us here at the brand. Don't know what premium pop-ups we will do. We'll let you know that. So follow us on social media for all those. Mikey, great job today, buddy. Appreciate you. Producer man, give me that one shot. It's now time for all of you to go out into the world, for you to pay it forward. Be kind to one another. Be nice to each other. And understand this, even on a Sunday, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these Sunday tickets straight to the pay window. My entire team, damn it, do I love them all. My man, Mikey P, producer man behind the scenes, always making the show look like $1,000,000. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about every single day right here at Coach and Company. Good luck.